Hey everyone, and welcome. So, have you ever wondered what really makes a company a great place to work? Is it the free snacks, the cool office, or is it something deeper? Well, today we're going to peel back the layers and look at the hidden blueprint of corporate culture. So, let's just dive right in with the big question. Can you actually engineer a company's vibe? We tend to think of culture as this magical, kind of fuzzy thing that just happens. But what if I told you the best cultures aren't accidental at all? Okay, just look at this because it's a fascinating paradox. On the one hand, you've got this company with all the perks, right? The sleek office, the ping pong table, but the culture is toxic. And on the other, you've got a team that's fully remote, maybe never even met, and they're absolutely thriving. This pretty much proves that culture isn't about the surface level stuff. It's about something else entirely. So, how do we solve this puzzle? Well, it all starts by shifting our thinking. And that brings us to our first section here. We've got to move away from the myth of the vibe and get real about the blueprint. This right here, this is the core idea of this whole explainer. Culture isn't some kind of magic spell. It's architecture. It is the direct output of how a company is actually designed. That feeling you get when you walk into an office or join a Zoom call, yeah, that's the result of very deliberate choices. And that set of choices has a name: organizational design. I just love this analogy on the slide. Think of it like the skeleton of the company. It's the hard structure, the rules, the teams, the communication channels, and that skeleton is what allows the muscle of culture to actually work properly. It's the blueprint for how things get done day in and day out. Okay, so if we can design culture, what are the tools? What are the actual levers we can pull to shape it? That's what we're jumping into next in our second section, the three levers of culture. So it really boils down to these three fundamental things. First up, communication channels. How does information actually flow? Is it all top-down through formal emails, or is it open and fluid in Slack channels? Second, team structures. Are people stuck in silos and rigid departments, or are they grouped into small autonomous squads? And third, work schedules. I mean, is everyone chained to a desk from 9 to 5, or is there genuine flexibility and trust? The great MIT professor Edgar Schein actually gave these tangible things a name. He called them artifacts. And they are exactly that. They're the visible, physical evidence of what a company truly believes. Your communication policy, your team setup, your schedule, these aren't just logistics, they are powerful signals of your real values. And this quote just brilliantly lays out the danger, right? If a company's website is screaming, "We value trust and autonomy," but their artifacts, their actual systems include a rigid 9 to 5 schedule and micromanaging bosses, well, people see that hypocrisy instantly. And that contradiction, that's exactly where a good culture starts to rot. So when you're designing these artifacts, as a leader, you face this really fundamental choice. And that brings us to a major strategic crossroad. In Section 3, are you building your organization for efficiency, or are you building it for innovation? Management guru Henry Mintzberg laid out these two classic models. On one side, you've got the machine bureaucracy. It's all about reliability, efficiency. Think of a bank. It's super stable, it's predictable, but man, is it slow to change. Then, on the other side, you've got the adhocracy. This is built for creativity, for adaptability, kind of like a film crew coming together for a project. It's innovative, but yeah, it can also be pretty chaotic. The really crucial point here is that it's incredibly hard to get both at the same time. Now, all of this sounds pretty good in theory, but what does it actually look like out in the real world? Well, to find out, let's explore two amazing case studies in our fourth section, Designs in Action. First up, we've got a huge success story, Lululemon. They are just a masterclass in using intentional design to create a culture that is famous around the world. This quote right here, this is the key to their whole model. And you have to understand, this isn't just some motivational poster hanging on a wall. This is their core architectural principle. They structurally empower their local leaders, and that decision creates these massive cultural ripple effects. So let's just break down their blueprint. The structure itself is decentralized, it's store-centric. The key design choice they made was to give their store managers real autonomy. We're talking control over their own budgets and their own inventory. And the cultural outcome of that single choice? You get a powerful culture of ownership, of accountability, and deep community engagement, all because the teams are empowered to act like they're running their own local business. Okay, so now for a very different story. Let's take a look at the online retailer Zappos and their famous and pretty difficult radical experiment with their organizational design. Their goal was just incredibly ambitious. Back in 2013, they decided to adopt a system called Holacracy. The big idea was to completely eliminate all managers and all job titles, thinking that would kill bureaucracy and just unleash innovation. They literally tried to delete the entire hierarchy. So what was the result? Well, this one number is staggering. 18%. Nearly a fifth of the entire company chose to take a buyout and leave rather than work in this new system. So, what went wrong? And this gets to the critical lesson here. Zappos learned the hard way that just removing structure isn't the same thing as creating freedom. For a lot of people, it just created confusion and anxiety. See, unlike Lululemon, which realigned its structure to empower people, Zappos got rid of the very structure that gave people psychological safety, the clarity on who to go to for help or how to resolve a conflict. Okay, so after all that theory and those big name case studies, let's bring this all back to you. In our final section, we're going to talk about how you can actually apply these ideas. It's your turn to lead. So here are the 3 most important things to take away from all this. Number 1, structure is signal. Just remember that every process you create, every meeting you schedule, sends a message. 2, form follows function. Please don't just copy the cool squad model from Spotify just because it sounds neat. Make sure the structure you choose actually fits your strategy. And 3, design for alignment. This is the big one. Make sure your tangible structures, your artifacts, are in perfect harmony with your stated values. And I'll leave you with this final thought. Take a look at the organizations in your own life, your job, your school, even a club you're in. Thinking about those 3 levers we talked about: communication, team setup, and scheduling. What is one small architectural change you could propose? Because as we've seen today, changing the blueprint, that's the first and most important step to changing the culture. Thanks for tuning in.